The sky was calm that morning. Birds flew over quiet cities, and the sun shone on forests and oceans alike. Life on Earth seemed peaceful, almost ordinary. But peace, as always, was a fragile thing. No one knew how quickly it could be broken. On the other side of the galaxy, a massive fleet of alien ships drifted silently. They were dark, angular, and immense, their metals shining like black ice. These were no ordinary invaders. They were hunters, destroyers, and the council that ruled them had made a terrible decision. They would show the galaxy what humans were worth. 10 million lives at once. Back on Earth, people went about their daily lives. In New York, a young woman named Lila sipped her morning coffee, smiling at her dog. Across the world in Tokyo, a boy played with a drone, laughing as it zipped through the air. No one noticed the satellites flicker strangely. No one noticed the subtle vibrations beneath the ground. No one could imagine what was coming. Suddenly, the sky changed. A shimmer appeared above every major city, like a dark storm rising without wind. And then, the broadcast started. Across every screen, every device, every channel in every language, an alien voice spoke. It was calm, almost polite, but cold. Humans of Earth, it said, your time has been measured. 10 million of you will die. The rest will remember why survival is a choice. Lila froze. Her coffee spilled, staining the floor. The boy in Tokyo dropped his drone. Families stopped in the streets, staring up in disbelief. And then the first ships descended. They were massive, larger than any city block. Weapons glimmered along their sides, firing beams at melted buildings instantly. Entire neighborhoods vanished within seconds. The air filled with screams, sirens, and the sound of metal bending and breaking. Humanity was under attack, not from one ship, but from millions. Governments scrambled. Satellites tried to intercept the fleet. Military jets took off, their weapons useless against the alien shields. Radio waves buzzed with panic. Scientists ran calculations faster than they had ever run before. But the truth was terrifying. Humanity had never faced anything like this. Not even in stories. Not even in warnings. Lila grabbed her phone, dialing her family. She couldn't get through. The line was dead. Around her, the city burned. Yet somehow people moved in silence, frozen by fear. The boy in Tokyo, hiding behind a wall, watched as the school vanished in a blinding flash. The world he knew was ending, and he didn't even have time to cry. On a secret base under the mountains of Switzerland, Earth's top leaders watched the screens. Every commander, every scientist, every politician was there. They had prepared for war, yes, but nothing like this. We underestimated them, said General Cortez, his voice low and steady despite the panic. Their weapons, their numbers, we have no chance if we fight conventionally. A scientist, Dr. Yamada, shook her head. We have to try something. They can't destroy every city at once. There has to be a weakness. But even as she spoke, more cities were gone. The aliens did not hesitate. Every move was precise, calculated, almost surgical. 10 million humans would die before the end the first day. Meanwhile, across the world, ordinary people tried to survive. Some ran into the forests, hoping to hide. Some climbed underground, praying their shelters would hold. And some, like Lila, stayed frozen, unable to move, unable to accept what was happening. And then came the first transmission that made everyone stop. A video, live, from the aliens themselves. Humans were being shown. Not just numbers, not just cities, but actual lives. Mothers, fathers, children, all being counted, selected, and then destroyed in real time. No one had seen this before. No one had imagined the cruelty. The broadcast was not just a warning. It was a demonstration. The aliens wanted Earth to watch, to feel helpless, to understand that mercy was not in their nature. From the Swiss base, General Cortez whispered, "They're teaching us fear." But fear alone was not enough to break humanity. Somewhere deep inside, a spark began to form. Survivors, scattered and terrified, realized they had to act. They had to call for help, organize, and fight back, or else everything would be lost. Lila, trembling and covered in dust, finally found her voice. She grabbed her phone again, this time recording herself. If anyone finds us, if anyone survives, we have to fight. They are not invincible. They may have numbers, but we have Earth, and we have each other. Across the planet, similar messages were sent. In London, a firefighter shouted into a camera as buildings collapsed. In Mumbai, a teacher gathered students and recorded instructions for hiding. Each message was short, desperate, and powerful. They were calls to arms, even if no one knew how they would be answered. As night fell, the alien fleet hovered above major cities, waiting. They had killed millions already, but their mission was far from over. Earth was not defeated yet, but the shock had frozen in place. And in that frozen silence, humanity whispered one thought, shared in every language: we will not go quietly. The first day ended with staggering losses, but also with something new. Hope. Not blind hope. Not foolish hope, but the kind of hope that rises when the odds are impossible. Humanity had seen its enemy. Humanity had felt fear. And humanity, for the first time, understood the stakes. From the Swiss command center, a strategist spoke into the silence. We need to unite. Every nation, every survivor, we must fight as one. They've shown us what they can do. Now we must show them what we are capable of. And somewhere, in hiding, Lila and countless others made the same vow. They had seen death, chaos, and destruction. They had heard the alien broadcast. And they had understood one truth: Earth would fight back. But the aliens were patient. They waited, watching every move. And they had no mercy. The desperate call of humanity had begun. The war for survival was just starting, and no one knew how it would end. The sun rose over scarred Earth. Cities were still burning. Smoke filled the skies, hiding the light. The cries of the survivors were loud but scattered. Humanity was broken, yet stubborn. Somewhere deep in the chaos, a spark of resistance was forming. In the Swiss command center, General Cortez stared at the holographic map of the alien fleet. Thousands of ships hovered over major cities. The numbers were staggering. The odds were impossible. Yet he did not flinch. He had one thought repeating in his mind: we fight or we die. Dr. Yamada, standing next to him, was already working furiously on simulations. They're strong, she said. Their shields, their weapons, everything is superior. But there's something, just a small weakness in their formation. If we can strike there, she didn't finish. The map showed a glowing, almost invisible point in the alien fleet, a core that powered the main strike ships. Then we hit it, General Cortez said simply. His voice carried the weight of command, the weight of survival. We give Earth a chance, even if it costs everything. Around the world, survivors were already moving. Secret messages and videos from Part 1 had spread. Ordinary people, scientists, engineers, pilots, teachers, even teenagers, were organizing. Makeshift militias formed in the forests, mountains, and abandoned cities. Underground bunkers became command posts. Humanity was awakening. Lila, who had survived the initial attack, joined a small group of volunteers in New York. They scavenged weapons, computers, and old drones. We have to make them pay, she said quietly. Her voice carried the determination of millions who had lost everything. Meanwhile, the aliens watched. They did not understand humans yet. They saw fear, yes, but also unpredictability. Every movement by humans was inefficient by alien logic, but inefficient could be dangerous. The aliens underestimated the value of courage, of desperation, of chaos. The first strike plan was simple but daring. Humans would use stealth ships retrofitted with alien tech scavenged from destroyed cities to reach the fleet's core. A small group would infiltrate and disable it, while decoys would distract the larger alien fleet. The risk was extreme. Almost everyone involved knew they might die. But for Earth, the risk was worth it. Lila volunteered. She did not have the training of a soldier or pilot, but she had something else. Determination and fear that burned into action. I want to help, she said. If we survive, I want to see our world again. The night before the strike, the humans gathered. In the darkness of bunkers and forests, people whispered prayers, told stories, and tried to calm their fear. Some laughed nervously. Some cried silently. Every human knew this could be the last night they saw the stars. At dawn, the strike began. Small ships, cloaked in disguise, launched from hidden bases across the world. Lila's team piloted one of the lead ships, their fingers tight on the controls. The alien sensors scanned the sky, but the humans moved like shadows, barely noticed, almost invisible. Suddenly, alarms blared in the command center. The aliens had detected one of the decoy fleets. Explosions rocked the air. Hundreds of ships vanished in bright flashes. But this was expected. The decoys drew attention away from the core. The main human strike fleet pressed forward. Lila's ship darted through the chaos. The sky was full of fire, smoke, and twisted metal. The screams of survivors on Earth reached them through communications, but the pilots had no time to respond. Every second counted. Every mistake could mean death. Then they reached the core. It was enormous, glowing with alien energy, surrounded by shields that pulsed like a heartbeat. The humans hesitated. For a moment, fear threatened to paralyze them. But they remembered the millions who had died. They remembered the cities gone, the families lost. Lila's hands shook as she activated the ship's weapons. The plan required precision. One wrong shot, and the entire fleet could detect them, crushing the strike before it even began. "We have to trust the plan," said the team leader, a veteran pilot named Harris. "This is the only way." The first missile struck the shield. The core shimmered, but held. The second missile hit. The shield weakened. The third, the core exploded. A shock wave rippled through space. Aliens screamed, their communication network broken. Ships spun out of control. The humans had done it, but the victory was short-lived. The shock wave also damaged some human ships. Harris's ship lost control. Lila barely managed to escape. The sky around them was chaos. Ships exploding, debris flying, alarms blaring. Humans had struck, but at what cost? As the fleet fell into disarray, Earth's forces saw an opportunity. Jets, missiles, and drones attacked the remaining ships. For the first time, humanity fought back openly. The aliens were strong, but now confused, vulnerable. And humanity, desperate and clever, was relentless. In New York, Lila's group watched as one massive alien ship crashed into the river, sending a wave through the streets. People cheered, but the victory was bittersweet. Every crash reminded them of what they had lost. Every cheer reminded them of what they still had to protect. Meanwhile, the Alien Council was furious. They had not expected humans to strike back so quickly, so effectively. Their arrogance had blinded them. Now they were forced to adapt. The leader of the alien fleet, a cold and calculating being called Varric, issued new orders. Humans will die for this insolence. They will pay tenfold. The humans, however, had tasted hope. Even small hope was enough to ignite courage. Across the world, survivors heard the news of the first strike. People who had hidden for days came out, joining militias, scouting teams, and engineers. They repaired weapons, built traps, and shared intelligence. Humanity was waking, and it was terrifying to the aliens. Back in the Swiss Command Center, General Cortez looked at the screen, his eyes weary but sharp. "This is just the beginning," he said. "We've hit them, but they'll hit back harder. We must prepare for everything." Lila, sitting in a ruined subway station with her team, nodded silently. She didn't feel victorious. Not really. She felt alive, and that was enough for now. But she knew the aliens would come for them. The first strike had worked, but it had also painted a target on Earth. That night, the sky above was calm again. Or at least it seemed calm. The stars shone, indifferent to the war below. But hidden among them, alien ships moved, preparing for retaliation. They had underestimated humans once. They would not make that mistake again. Lila recorded another message. "We fought today. We survived. We will fight tomorrow. We are not helpless. We are Earth, and we will not let them win." Her words spread across networks, transmitted through every remaining device. People listened, inspired and terrified. But mostly they listened. Humanity had taken its first stand, and the universe was watching. As the humans celebrated in small, hidden pockets, the aliens prepared their next move. They were patient, ruthless, and unstoppable almost. There was one thing they had forgotten. Humans never give up, not when hope burns even a little. The first strike had changed everything. For the first time, the aliens knew Earth would not surrender. For the first time, humans knew what they could do when forced to fight. The war had begun, not in cities, not on battlefields, but in the hearts of survivors. And somewhere, deep in the shadows of the command center, General Cortez whispered, "This is only the beginning. The galaxy will remember Earth." The Earth was no longer the same. Cities lay in ruins. Skies were darkened by smoke and alien warships. Rivers carried debris, and forests were scarred by laser fire. Humanity had survived the first strike, but survival had a price. Fear, loss, and a world that felt unrecognizable. In the Swiss command center, General Cortez paced. The first strike had been a small victory, but it had revealed something terrifying. The aliens had a secret weapon. Something massive. Something capable of erasing entire cities in seconds. Scientists had detected energy readings unlike anything they had ever seen. Energy that could vaporize continents. Dr. Yamada stared at the holographic display, her hands trembling. "It's a planet killer," she said quietly. "If they unleash it, millions more will die, maybe billions. Earth might not survive." Outside the command center, humans prepared for the worst. Lila and her team had returned from the first strike, weary but alive. They were celebrated as heroes, but there was no time to rest. The aliens would strike back, harder, faster, and smarter. Humanity had no choice but to adapt. Across the globe, resistance networks grew. Survivors shared intelligence, scavenged alien technology, and trained in secret. Ordinary people became soldiers. Engineers became tacticians. Even children learned to recognize alien ships, to warn communities before the attack. Earth was transforming, rising from its ashes, readying for the fight of its existence. Then the transmissions came. Unlike the first broadcast, these were encrypted, brief, almost like warnings, but meant for humans to intercept. Lila and her team worked to decode them. Hidden in the signals, they found a pattern, coordinates, symbols, and maps that seemed to indicate the alien core system, the heart of their fleet and power. "This could be it," said Harris, the veteran pilot. "If we strike the core, we could cripple them completely. But we have no idea what defenses they've built. It's likely a trap." Lila clenched her fists. "We have to try. We've already lost too much to give up now." As they planned, a small scout team discovered something even more shocking. Deep in the ruins of what had once been Berlin, they found an alien survivor, injured but alive. Unlike the fleet above, this being was weak, almost human in fear. The scientists brought it to the command center. It could not speak like humans, but it responded to signals, lights, and gestures. Dr. Yamada used translation algorithms to communicate. Slowly, piece by piece, they learned something critical. The aliens had a weakness in their DNA. Their species was resilient but could not survive in certain environmental conditions. Certain frequencies and energies disrupted their nervous system, making them vulnerable. The room fell silent. Hope flickered like a candle. Humanity had a weapon, something they could exploit, but was small, fragile, and dangerous. Using it required precision, coordination, and courage beyond imagination. Meanwhile, the alien leader, Varric, realized humans had survived the first strike and learned too much. He convened the council aboard his flagship. "They are resilient," he growled. "Their will to survive is greater than predicted. We must act. Planet Earth will kneel or perish." Varric revealed the ultimate weapon, a massive sphere glowing like molten lava, capable of destroying entire continents in one shot. It was hidden in the heart of the fleet, protected by shields and elite ships. No previous human attack had ever reached such a target. If deployed, humanity would have only hours to react. And then the attacks began. Alien ships descended on major cities, launching precise strikes designed to provoke panic. Humans fought back, but the destruction was immense. Entire regions were decimated in minutes. It was chaos, but Earth's forces held pockets of resistance. Guerrilla tactics, hit-and-run attacks, and scavenged alien tech allowed small groups to survive, disrupt supply lines, and gather intelligence. Lila and Harris prepared for their next mission. Their plan was insane, daring, and almost impossible. They would infiltrate the alien flagship, Reach the core weapon and disable it. Success meant survival for millions. Failure meant total annihilation. The journey through space was tense. Human stealth ships dodged massive fleets, their engines humming softly as alarms blared across enemy ships. The sky was filled with fire and debris. Every moment was life or death. Harris piloted with steady hands, while Lila monitored communications and weapon systems. They reached the flagship. It was enormous, the size of a small moon, glowing with energy that made the cockpit hum. Shields surrounded it like a cage, almost unbreakable. Yet, guided by the alien survivors' intelligence, they found a weak point, a small section of the shield with an unusual energy fluctuation. It was narrow, precise, but it was their only chance. Lila took a deep breath. This is it. One shot, one chance. Let's make it count. The missile fired, hitting the weak point. The shield shimmered, flickered, and cracked. A small opening formed. The humans waited. Then they launched a second strike. Directly at the core, the flagship shook violently. Alarm screamed. The core pulsed like a heart under attack. Inside the flagship, Varric roared in fury. Impossible. Humans, they cannot survive this. The core weapon, destabilized by human precision, began to overload. Energy rippled outward, threatening both aliens and humans. Lila and Harris raced to escape as explosions rocked the ship. They barely made out. The flagship collapsing behind them in a bright flash of fire and molten metal. The destruction was immense. Alien forces scattered, their fleet disorganized. Humanity had struck a major blow, but the cost was heavy. Many stealth ships were lost. Resistance fighters on Earth had died in coordinated attacks during the mission, yet hope burned brighter than ever did on Earth. Survivors watched the skies. News of the flagship's destruction spread quickly. People cheered in streets, forests, and bunkers alike. For the first time, humanity had truly fought back, not just surviving, but taking the initiative. But the war was far from over. Varric survived, hidden in a secondary fleet, planning retaliation. The alien species had lost their main weapon, but they were relentless, adaptive, and ruthless. Humanity's victory was fragile, temporary, but necessary. Lila recorded a new message. Her voice was strong, even through fear. We faced death. We saw the worst of them, but we fought back. This is only the beginning. They will strike again, harder, faster. But we know now we can win. We must win. The command center buzzed with activity. Scientists analyzed alien tech. Generals planned the next strikes, and survivors rebuilt what they could. Humanity had learned, adapted, and survived. But the shadow of Varric and his fleet loomed large. Night fell again over Earth, but the stars looked different now. Humanity had touched them, fought in space, and returned. The turning point had come. Humans were no longer helpless. They had a plan, a weapon, and courage. They would face the aliens again, but the fight would only get more intense. In a hidden corner of space, Varric observed Earth. His voice was calm, but filled with menace. They have grown stronger. They have learned too much, but their defiance will not last. I will crush them, and I will enjoy every moment. The humans did not yet know it, but the final battle was approaching. Earth had survived for now, but the galaxy had not forgotten, and the aliens would not forgive. Deep in the underground bunkers, Lila whispered to her team, "We've won a battle, not the war, but tomorrow we fight harder. And this time we fight for everything." The turning point had arrived. Humanity had discovered hope, strength, and courage. They had seen the enemy's power and found a way to strike back. But the war for survival was far from over. Every second counted. Every choice could mean life or death. And in the darkness of space, the aliens were watching, waiting, planning. For the first time, humans understood one truth. Survival was not just about hiding, not just about resisting. It was about fighting, learning, and refusing to surrender. And Earth, scarred but unbroken, would fight with everything it had. The skies were dark with tension. Earth had survived attacks, strikes, and betrayals. But the alien fleet remained. Varric, the alien commander, had grown angrier, his every move calculated to crush humanity completely. Yet humanity had learned, adapted, and grown stronger. The survivors were no longer hiding. They were ready to fight back. In the underground command center beneath the ruins of Paris, General Cortez looked at the massive holographic map of the alien fleet. "This is it," he said, voice steady despite exhaustion. "All our forces must strike at once. Every ship, every soldier, every weapon we have left. We use it now. For Earth. For everyone we've lost." Dr. Yamada adjusted the coordinates on the map. "We know their weakness. The core of their fleet, the energy matrix, is vulnerable. If we destroy it, the alien fleet will collapse. But we have to hit it precisely. One mistake, and it will destroy the planet." Lila, standing among a group of pilots and engineers, clenched her fists. Her eyes were fierce. "We've survived so far. We've seen what they can do. Now it's time to show them what humans are capable of. They thought we were weak. They were wrong." Across the globe, survivors prepared. Underground bunkers and forest hideouts turned into temporary command posts. Civilians carried weapons, repaired ships, and worked tirelessly. Engineers hacked alien technology, scavenged from destroyed ships. Farmers and teachers became medics and scouts. Earth was a planet united, scarred but unbroken. The plan was bold, almost impossible. A massive fleet of human ships, including retrofitted alien tech, would approach the alien core under stealth. Simultaneously, underground missile systems would launch precise strikes, while decoy fleets distracted the aliens in other sectors. Every movement had to be perfect. Humanity had only one chance. The night before the attack, Lila and her team gathered. There was no fear in their eyes, only determination. "This may be our last night alive," she said quietly. "But if we die fighting. And we will die knowing we didn't give up." Harris, her pilot companion, nodded solemnly. They had seen too much loss, too much destruction to give up now. As dawn broke, the human fleet moved. Hundreds of ships emerged from hidden bases, engines humming softly under stealth. The alien sensor scanned the sky, but the humans moved like shadows, invisible, unexpected. The first decoys triggered alarms in the alien fleet. Explosions erupted in distant sectors, drawing attention away from a main strike. Lila's team led the infiltration. They dodged massive alien cruisers, weaving through debris, laser fire, and explosions. The sky was a chaotic dance of death. Every second was a test of skill, courage, and luck. One misstep could mean annihilation. They reached the alien core, a massive sphere of pulsating energy, protected by layers of shields and elite guard ships. The energy hummed, filling their vessels with vibrating, almost sentient sound. Lila swallowed hard. "It's now or never," she whispered. Harris maneuvered the ship through the opening identified earlier, a small flaw in the shield discovered through painstaking analysis and bravery. They fired a series of missiles, hitting the energy nodes precisely. The core trembled, pulses of light exploding outward. The alien fleet shuddered. Varric screamed in fury, his voice reverberating through command channels. "Humans, how can you defy me? Destroy them all." The alien forces retaliated fiercely. Massive beams of energy sliced through space, targeting human ships. But the humans fought with relentless coordination. Each pilot, each team, each soldier knew the stakes. Retreat was not an option. Failure meant extinction. The core began to overload. Energy ripples expanded, threatening to engulf both fleets. Lila's team raced to escape. Harris dodged blasts, weaving through debris. Their ship shook violently as the core's energy surged, but they escaped just as the alien flagship began to implode in a blinding explosion. The destruction sent shockwaves across the alien fleet. Without the core, their systems faltered. Ships collided, shields failed, and communication collapsed. Humanity pressed the advantage, attacking weakened ships, disabling weapons, and taking out elite guards. On Earth, survivors cheered as news spread. The human strike had worked. The alien fleet was broken. Cities that had been under attack saw hope return. People hugged, cried, and prayed. But the battle was not over. Pockets of alien forces still remained, and Varric had survived. In a final desperate move, Varric activated hidden warships armed with planet-killing lasers. The energy beams rose into the sky, threatening to vaporize continents. Lila and her team intercepted the signal, working frantically to hack the ships. With precise timing and bravery, they redirected the beams into the void, causing massive explosions that destroyed the remaining alien warships. Varric, witnessing the failure, retreated. Humanity had survived. Earth had won. The aftermath was heavy. The planet was scarred. Cities were gone. Millions had died. But humanity had endured. Survivors rebuilt, shared stories, and remembered those who had fallen. Earth had faced annihilation and emerged stronger. In the Swiss Command Center, General Cortez addressed the surviving leaders. This victory is not just about survival. It's about what we are capable of when we unite. The galaxy will know Earth is not to be underestimated. Lila recorded one final message. We have lost much, but we have also won. The sky belongs to us. We fought with courage, and we survived. This is our world, and we will protect it, always. Far above, the stars seemed calmer. The alien threat had been defeated, at least for now. Humanity had learned a crucial truth. No matter how strong the enemy, no matter how dark the future seemed, courage, intelligence, and unity could overcome even the most impossible odds. Earth was battered, but alive. And for the first time in weeks, people looked up at the sky not with fear, but with hope. The war had ended and humanity had survived, and they would never forget the cost, nor the strength they had discovered in themselves. From the ashes of destruction, humanity rose. The galaxy had seen their resilience, and Earth, scarred but unbroken, had proven that no species could take it lightly. The legacy of the fallen would live on, not just in memory, but in the strength and unity of the survivors. And somewhere, deep in the void, the alien commander Varric plotted. The war might have ended, but the story of Earth had only begun. Humanity had fought, had won, and had survived, proving that even against impossible odds, courage could change the fate of worlds.